Hey guys, it's Oracle Daphne. I actually didn't think that I'd be recording this tonight. I'm wearing my Eagle sweatshirt yet again. It's actually American Eagle, but this is not a commercial for American Eagle. I'm just saying. Um, because I am tired and because I felt like I wasn't sure if I was going to get messages because when I'm tired like this, I sometimes, have a hard time concentrating. But you know what? I listened to some music and I've decompressed a little bit. And um, yeah, I listened to a little Frank Sinatra. Oh, we just got a card popping out. So obviously this card wants to tell us something. So anyways, I'm Oracle Daphne. My real name is Beth or Elizabeth. If you guys, this is your first time watching, this is for your daily horoscope for October 21st. Okay, guys. And the card just popped out while I was talking about Frank Sinatra. So maybe Frank, old Blue Eyes, sending us a message here. This card's come up before. Um, I think for my dailies. I'm pretty sure. And this card is the Ten of Wands. I think what I was going to say, Bo, before I got into the card popped out was how much I love Frank Sinatra's song called That's Life. It's interesting. I was about to talk about that song when we picked this card because, and you like this frizz. My hair is ridiculous right now. It's so late. If you talk to them about your problems, they'll be like, that's life. That's just how life is. That's the way it goes. You clear your plate and then something else falls from the sky onto your plate and you have to deal with it. And that's adulthood, and children don't really understand this until they get out of college and their parents say, okay, you need to do something with your life and you need to make it on your own. And that's it. And this card is all about having too many responsibilities, having too much on your plate, taking on too many tasks, too many projects. You got a million things going on. And by the way, I'm drinking Tri-Salts tonight. Have you guys ever had Tri-Salts? Tri-Salt is I feel like the angels really wanted me to talk about this tonight for some reason. It's called Tri-Salts. Okay, Tri-Salts. I know the screen is reversed, but I think you guys can figure this out. But ecological formulas. And basically what it is calcium carbonate, magnesium carbonate, potassium bicarbonate, and it's powder. You can't really see, but it's filled with powder. It's basically like, it de-acidifies your body and it makes your body more alkaline. So anybody who has had anybody who's had any inflammation in their internal organs at all, it's very helpful. Any kind of bladder problems, any kind of, I feel like kidney problems, even liver problems. This is good for people who have joint problems, arthritis problems, skin problems, any kind of inflammation in their body. This is awesome stuff. I gave it to my ex-boyfriend like a long time ago, and he's like, where did you get this stuff? This stuff is totally amazing. And I originally was told to take it from my naturopath because I had some bladder problems. And it's like as soon as I took it, I felt better. I felt so much better. A lot of people have difficulty eating citrus or tomato. You can eat that if you take this stuff. You shouldn't have any problem. I'm not a doctor, okay, so I'm not liable for any of the stuff that I say, but this stuff is awesome. Everybody should have some of this stuff. First of all, because when you're under more stress, back to this card again, we're tying it in with the card here. when you're under stress, this lifestyle right here, this is somebody who has the lifestyle of, I kind of think of it as the SUV lifestyle. You know what I mean? Like the kind of like person that has an SUV and they're constantly filling it up with stuff. They're constantly throwing their kids in the back seat with their soccer gear and carting them off to a zillion different after school activities, and then they're, you know, planning their weekend trips here, there, and everywhere, and making dinner, and they're going too fast, they're doing too much, and then on top of it, you know, their sister-in-law's calling them, and they've got Thanksgiving they're already planning, and it's only October, and it's just, you know, this is that SUV person, okay? You're the SUV person, okay? You got too much on your plate, and if you don't even drive an SUV, okay, then you just have too much on your plate. And when you're stressed out and you have too much on your plate, your body becomes a lot of times your body has an inflammation response, a histamine response because of the stress, okay? And your stomach produces more toxins, which then your liver has to detoxify. It's a complicated process. But anyways, to make a long story short, this is what chronic inflammation leads to cancer. Okay, a lot of the doctors are talking about how aspirin, actually, just plain old aspirin, reduces your chances of getting cancer later in life because it reduces the inflammation in your body, and all that inflammation leads to cancer at some point. So with a very hectic, crazy lifestyle, you need to take some of this stuff, okay? You need to de-acidify your body and have your body become more alkaline, okay? So it's too acidic, it needs to become more alkaline. And your body can become more alkaline when you eat green vegetables. If you're not, low in sugar diet, the American diet is really acidic, okay? We drink a lot of orange juice. We eat a lot of pasta with tomato sauce. We eat a lot of pizza with tomato. We eat, we got the carbs, we got the sugar, we got the cakes, the muffins, the cookies. We're talking out the wazoo, and that's a lot of acidic. Increases your acidic pH in your body. So this stuff is really amazing. My naturopath gave it to me a long time ago, and I have continued to share it with others. And interestingly enough, I'm just going to take a look. I think it is only $11, but I hate to quote things wrongly. So I can tell you right now on Amazon, actually, it is $8. $8 for this huge bottle. It's 200 grams. Okay, it's a big bottle, and it's totally worth the $8. Okay, for how much everybody would be normally spending on cancer treatments or, anti-inflammatories or any kind of injections or any kind of regular medicine. Taking this stuff, even if you continue on with that stuff, will still help. And yeah, this card is a person who doesn't know how to say no, who has taken on everything because they just continue to say yes. And life is a balance of doing what you want to do and saying yes to things you want to do. I'm also drinking my almond milk because it's late at night and helps kind of settle me in. So yeah, life is choosing what you want to do. You can't say yes to everything because then you're really not choosing what it is that you want to do. It's sort of like you need to actually get to know yourself enough so that you have a personality, okay? Like, I used to tell my cousin, I used to say, because she has I'm not being mean to her at all. It's just that she is I don't even know who she is. I have no idea what she likes, where she likes to go, what she likes to do. she just is one of those people that is more private about, I guess, what her thoughts are, but she also just doesn't really have a personality. And I guess a personality, what is your personality? It is what you like to do, who you are, what your values are, and all the rest of it. I mean, it's not what you wear, but I mean, part of it, you wear stuff, wear things that suit your personality. So I wear this men's sweatshirt because I'm kind of a strong masculine woman, so it kind of fits me, and I like quality things. I've got that Capricorn ascendant. I like quality materials. I like things that are going to last a long time. So I feel like this is where I'm going with this. If you haven't discovered who you are and you haven't worked on building up a personality at this point, you're overcompensating for the lack of personality in what you're doing in life. So you're the person that has a gazillion things going on. You don't know how to say no because you don't have enough of a personality. It hasn't clicked in yet. And you're not really used to exercising your decision making capabilities on your own because maybe someone's done that a long time. Maybe you had controlling parents, or maybe, you were abused as a child or something like that. And so it's just one of those things that you need to develop your personality to make decisions for yourself. You can't say yes to everything because all this clutter, the SUV lifestyle, all this overflow of responsibilities is pushing you to a breaking point in which if she takes on any more, I always say she's going to snap. She is so strong. Originally, this was what I call a no card. That means you need to say no. I switched it to a yes only because I'm reluctant to have a lot of no's in my deck and I try to be more positive. And I only wrote originally carrying too much, balancing a heavy load of burdens and other people's burdens. And then when I switched to yes, I wrote, but she does it. She is so strong. She does it willingly. The reason you're trying to take on all this stuff is because you have a very big heart. And because you're very loving. And because you want your family to know that you love them and you support them. You love them dearly. You're willing to sacrifice your health and your well-being for your family. And they may or may not appreciate it. But ultimately, it's time for you to really say no to some of the things that maybe are cluttering up your life. Oprah always said, Oprah is big on decluttering, okay? And if you guys looked around my room right now, you'd be like, geez, she really needs to practice what she preaches because I've got a lot going on in this room. You can't see it, but there's a lot going on, I can promise you. I've got probably 12 boxes. On top of those boxes, I've got like a gazillion supplements. I've got mail. I've got plants. I've got notebooks. I've got tape and packaging materials. I've got an overflowing, combined, dirty and clean laundry basket. Okay, if that can tell you anything a little bit about my madness. I did my laundry, but I haven't since put it away. But even if I put it away, I don't have any shelves. I mean, I have one little spot for my shelves. So it's not organized in here. Okay, there's a lot going on in this room. So I get where you are right now because I'm kind of at that place myself. But I have to tell you, it's time to clean things up. Okay, so I'm not being a hypocrite here, but I am telling you, it's time to really. I hate to say things that my mom used to say, but she would used to say, get creative with how you clean up your room, how you clean up your space, whatever needs to happen to clean out that garage declutter your space, and get rid of the internal junk too. I mean, this is a time where we're going into November, and this is just before the end of the year, so we really need to clean up our act to prepare for a new year. We're almost at the end of this year, if you guys can believe that. I mean, it's nuts, but we've got to just do it. So we've got to clean up our act, declutter your space, say no, really prioritize. Do you have to go out to lunch with that friend that you haven't seen in 100 years? And do you have to cram that person into your schedule or rearrange all these things just to go out with them? You can say no. You can say, no, this is not a good time. You've got 5 other engagements that day. If you've got 5 engagements in one day, or maybe even 6, narrow it down to 2. 1 in the morning and 1 in the afternoon. That way, you're home. You're able to sleep in the morning. You're able to eat breakfast and lunch, and you're home for dinner when your husband comes home, when your partner comes home, when your girlfriend comes home, when your boyfriend comes home, and you can give them a hug and a kiss, and you don't look like this. It's just like you need to kind of like, and you don't feel like that either, because there's an element of feeling like that in this. There's a feeling like cluttered. It's just cluttered. It's just like you're got a lot going on, too much. You can't really focus on one thing. You can't really get a lot of things done. And this is wrapping up the Mercury retrograde energy. This is the last 5 or 6 days of this energy that we're really dealing with. It's October 21st. If somebody calls you on this day and they want to talk about their problems, you say no. This is not a day to talk about problems with your friends. Not a day for them to tell you about theirs. This is a day where you take time off for yourself. You need to. You need to actually have a lighter load so you can stand up straight, so you can actually stand, so you can actually get through your day. Some of you might not be well. Some of you literally may not be well, may have not been feeling that well, and maybe have been struggling with your health. This is someone who is really struggling with their health. They may have been, it's possible that you may have been hospitalized actually recently. Just due to an overwhelming amount of stress and due to an overwhelming amount of responsibilities and burdens, and you're not able to really balance. You're balancing things, but maybe in the past you weren't able to. It has to do with your personality again. It goes back to having problems with your personality. You need to be stronger in who you are. Be stronger in what you really want. Be stronger with setting rules and limits for yourself and for the people around you so that okay, you need to go to bed by 10:30 every night. Without fail, you need to do that for you and yourself. You need to, instead of making, like I said, 5, engagements or 5 zillion trips to the grocery store or whatever it is. I feel like there's a number 5 is coming to me for some crazy reason. You're doing like 5 things, and that's a lot. That it is time to really consolidate those things into a more cohesive approach. It's so funny. I just realized this. Now I'm looking at this card. She can't even see how much she is carrying. Because if she looks up, I'll show you. She looks up, all she sees is this leafy foliage. She doesn't see how much she has on top. So it's sort of like she's bent over. She's got all this stuff on top. But because she's so bent, she can't really see up to count all these things. It's sort of like, and people just keep adding more and more, and she's continually taking on more and more because she's like, I can do it. I'm really strong, and I can do all these things. But there's a toll. There's a health cost that you don't even really necessarily realize. And that health cost is that can lead to chronic inflammation. It can lead to cancer down the line. It can lead to stroke and heart attacks. And you know what? I had this counselor once. She was probably like one of the greatest counselors I've ever had. And she taught me so much about relationships. Um, and she had several heart attacks. And I think she was only 46. And she had to have like open heart surgery several times. This is a person who said to me, and I'll never forget what she said to me. I said, what, why are you having so many health problems? She said, well, Elizabeth, I have worked in a very stressful job my entire life, and this is all I know. This is all that I've done. And all of this stress has caused my health to deteriorate. And so it just was wild to me that she was going through that at 46, I think it's time for you to examine how much you're carrying. I know you can't really see it because there's so much, but I tell my clients all the time to really make a list of what it is that they do, what it is that they do for their husband, their partner, their kids. They write that list out. Write it all out. If you've got a calendar, write out the full list of what you're doing, start to finish, on say, on Tuesday. Because today's Monday, tomorrow's Tuesday. Write out your full list if you're watching this video ahead of time of what you've got planned for that day. And I want you to cross off 2 things, at least 2 things, and just say, you know what? And I was talking about this. I was talking about this with a friend of mine. I'm the queen at postponing things, okay? I will postpone things. I'm not afraid to postpone things. I used to postpone like interviews because I hate interviews. I used to do that a lot. And the thing is, there were a lot of legitimate reasons why I postponed things. But I just always felt like, it was me taking my power back, saying, okay, I really want to go at this time, or I really feel like, okay, my confidence is up and I can go and I can do this. And I pretty much always got the job because I was very picky about when I went. I never wanted to go on a day where I wasn't feeling good, or I felt like my confidence was low, or a day where I had too much other things going on, conflicting and draining my energy, because I wanted to focus like on that. So if you're job hunting and you've got a lot of bills and you've got a lot of responsibilities, crap that's just piled up, things that you've got to do, and you're not really making ends meet, I want you to clear your schedule so that you can focus on the job that you want and really manifest it. So I want you to really think about that job, okay? And the people that are looking for work, this is really key. You probably have already applied to, say, 50 places. That is a huge understatement. You probably have applied to over 2,000. And if you're still looking, what you need to do is you need to go back through the things that you've applied to, make phone calls, follow up, and rework, because this is Mercury retrograde, rework all of those ones that you've already applied to, okay? Call up the human resources person. Say, you know what? I sent my resume in 2 weeks ago. I was just wondering what this timeline is as far as when you were going to be interviewing, and if you had a chance to take a look at my resume yet. Most people don't do that. Most people just let it go and then just think that, oh, someone's going to call them. Well, that someone is looking at over 700 resumes. So the people that call and they follow up actually have a higher chance of getting through. I'm not promising anything. I'm just saying, you got to work smarter on the applications and resumes you've already put in, okay? Talk it up with people, network, go in person, suit up, take your resume in. I always tell people to do that. Do not, if you have an opportunity to go in person, do not email the resume. Go in person. Okay, that's the message. Oh, I see. Things are happening slowly. Things are not developing at the speed that you want them to happen at, because it's like there. I see this like weird snail. I think this snail creature is there, and it's reminding me that her roots are kind of growing very slowly, and things are happening very slowly, and she doesn't. Maybe all of these responsibilities and things, and you might even have several properties. You might actually be flipping houses, or you might be in real estate. You might be doing something with property, but the thing is you've accumulated all these responsibilities over time, you know. After your first kid was born, your second and third, maybe you might even have more than 3 kids, and suddenly all of a sudden, boom, you had like multiple responsibilities, and then your responsibilities were popping up like gremlins, you know, just pop, 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 you know. Suddenly you've got to go to the store and get gas, and you know, to the dry cleaner and all this stuff, and you're doing all this stuff, and it's just suddenly it's just like your life is like so overwhelming. And you need to take time for yourself, number one. But number two is, for those of you who like know that this hasn't happened like overnight, or it hasn't just been accumulative. It's just the way you're feeling right now. Like, just be the feeling you have right now of just being overwhelmed. It may have been a short term time it's taken to get you to this point. It may have been a long time. But what I'm saying is, right now you feel this way, and you are having a hard time moving past this because things are happening very slowly. So maybe you've applied to jobs, but they haven't gotten back to you, and you're wondering how long that's going to take. Maybe you're waiting on money to come in, but you don't know how long that's going to take. You know, maybe, you know, you're thinking of starting your own business, but money needs to come in today rather than tomorrow. And so you're like, I don't know if I can do this. So it's just like things are happening really slowly. And we are in Mercury retrograde, but the thing that needs to happen in order for things to happen quickly, you need to very carefully reorganize your life. Okay, you need to get rid of some of the burdens that you have and slowly and carefully pick up the pieces. Okay, focus on one piece at a time. Work on the building blocks of your life, and start to pick up those pieces and put them into the place where you want them, and clear your schedule so you can focus on these building blocks. Now, you know, I'm not saying, you know, this card's making me think of Libras and balance in general. In general, you need to clear your mind and focus on what you want. Okay, whether it's a job you want, a new career you want, a new husband, whatever it is, wife, whatever. You need to focus on that. But there is an element of balance, and there is an element of being distracted, and there is also an element of so it's like if you focus too much on like finding a job, you may be missing something, and you aren't living your life. You need to live your life, okay? But I think the main thing about this card is you're really bogged down. You're not able to do anything. You're not able to do shit right now because you've got way too much going on, and you can't focus in general. So I guess for right now, temporarily, for this day on the 21st, just slowly work on focusing on one thing, one big thing, to put the building blocks back into place, okay? And later, you can go back a little bit and start doing other things that balance out your life more playtime. But right now, it's work time. It's more, and that, well, some of you, it's sort of like, I feel like some of you need to take time off. You have too many responsibilities and you need to take a break. Others, you need to work on getting your life back in order, okay? It's for too long. It's been too chaotic. It's been too hectic. It's been too much. So you need to work on that. more than just actual work. Okay. So like I don't want you to like go to the Bahamas and just party the whole time, because then when you get back home, you know, things will still be on your bills will still be unpaid, the house will be a mess. You know, there'll be shit everywhere and you won't have gotten anything done. So you need to focus on cleaning up the clutter. I feel like some of your houses really need to be decleaned. You need to open things up and just like light a lot of candles, put fresh flowers, just really. I see like a lot of junk. I don't know. I'm getting this vision like the garbage needs to get taken out. Like there's piles of stuff everywhere. The floor hasn't been washed in a zillion years. There's dust everywhere. I mean, you guys really, like, some of you need to really clear out your house. Like, it's time to clear it out. And if you can't do it, maybe you can't get to it, you need to get a housekeeper or a house cleaner. You know, I told my mom a long time ago she needs to get like a house, like a cleaning lady. And the cleaning lady comes, and ever since she got the cleaning lady, I can actually go into my mom's house and sit down. Before I couldn't do that. So it's a major thing. You guys really need to just step it up and do it. You know, I know financially you can't, but it's worth every penny if your house is clean, because you got to have a clean house. You got to have a clean house in order to think clearly. You know, and again, I'm not trying to be hypocritical here, but I am moving, so that is my excuse, you know. And I have no furniture. So if I had like a bookshelf, at least one bookshelf, that would be helpful. But the thing is, I'm not complaining because I'm in the right place right now for this time. I'm in the now moment, you know. Um, and for the rest of you who need to declutter your house, get some garbage bags. Get some garbage bags and just like go through stuff and just throw shit out. You know, make a pile. Get a garbage bag for the Goodwill. Throw things in there for Goodwill. Get a garbage bag for maybe friends and family, things that you can give to friends and family. You throw things in there, and then actual garbage, things that is just totally like you can't do. And then you also make a garbage bag for what you can sell. If there's anything you can sell or anything you can consign, another bag for consignment, another bag for selling it. Just categorize. But go through your house. You guys need to like wash the floor, vacuum the floor. I just see like almost like you have too many pets. There's way too many pets. And so the pets aren't, like, a lot of them aren't fully potty trained, so I feel like there's a lot of pet gunk around. I don't know, it's just not a clean environment. It needs to be sterilized, it needs to be cleaned. You need to, like, actually clean it with, like, really good, cleaner. I mean, I'm not an pet expert, but there's got to be stuff that you can use on your floor to clean up after the pets, But the pets need to be trained. You've got too many of them. You need to start actually taking some of those pets and taking them to like a kennel or someplace where, like a pet adoption agency, a pet adoption place, and have them take the pets, because I think it's become irresponsible. That's what I'm seeing. Not all of you, but I'm seeing for some of you, that's what the deal is. You have too many pets. Your house has not been cleaned in a really long time. It's starting to really smell. I don't like the smell. I can smell it. It's not good. So, I just noticed that there are 4 people climbing up the staircase to the main place. So maybe you have like 4 kids, or you could have, maybe there's a total of 4. Maybe you have 3 kids and you're the 4th person. You could have You could have 4 other people in your family aside from you, so there could actually be 5 total. And there's like a main house, but like what stems from that other house are like the other families' houses. So I feel like some of you actually are having family problems. It's less about cleanliness, more about just family problems, family relationships like maybe your parents, relationships with your siblings. And I do feel like they're on your quest to get to the top. Okay, because everybody's kind of like at a different point in their quest. On your quest to get to the top of the stairs, the American dream, climbing the ladder, there's just a lot of, I guess, craziness. Not like literal craziness, but like just there's a lot of things going on, and I feel like you become so focused on getting to the top that you're not thinking about all this other stuff. You don't realize how many things you've taken on. You just don't see it. So it's important to go back and say like, okay, what have I got going on right now? Look at your calendar. Get a good calendar. Um, Really, take a calendar with you wherever you go. Do not leave it at home. Do not use your phone. Write things down. You don't realize what you have going on a lot of times until you write it all down. I know I've said that before, but I'll say it again. Just do that. And I guess the message is for a lot of you who need some inspiration about getting through things. I feel like in fact, several of you have emailed me. You guys are really going through like hardship times. And for some of you, can't afford to do a private reading right now. And I totally get that. There are other services, there are social services, there are churches. I encourage you to, talk to somebody in a church. I encourage you to ask for people to pray for you. I encourage you to talk to people about, or even you joining like a prayer group. But it's important for you to get out of this energy. And it's funny because I was listening to some music and it was what I was listening to when I was kind of going through, a tough time. Music is really important for you to tune into something that's cheerful, tune into things that are going to brighten you, tune into things that are going to make you happy. If there's anything that's negative, it's time to not be around that person anymore. It's time to just think about the positive things that are going on in your life. And just like I said, I think what you need more than somebody telling you, like, even if I did a reading for you, it's not going to change your circumstances completely. It's just going to give you information about your circumstances. And most of the time, and I'm not saying like this is all the time, but people who are in a really bad negative place, maybe they lost their job, maybe they have kids, maybe they have, something's happened to them, and you're at this place where it's sort of like I would not encourage you to spend any money on a psychic right now because you need more practical help rather than just like somebody verbally telling you. Like, I can tell you that things are going to get better, but unless either you go through this period and so when you go through this kind of stuff, the number one thing is the universe will oftentimes test us. Okay, it tests us because this is something that we need to learn. Until we learn the lesson, we can't move on. Okay, the universe could be testing you right now to see how strong you are, to see if you can make it through this time. And the minute you smile, in the midst of all this madness, that's the minute you tell the universe, I'm okay. I have everything that I need. I'm going to be all right no matter what. That's the moment then you get to move on. And that's the moment the universe says, okay, we're going to give you all this crazy money because you've learned the lesson, So there's also karma too. As somebody who's gone through a lot of karma, I paid a lot of karmic dues. And by that meaning, why does bad shit happen to good people? Well, that's karma, It's nothing to do with you in this life. It's everything to do with, a soul contract or something that you came here for to learn, and that was just part of your experience here. And then, yeah, so it's sort of like, even if I was to do a reading for you, you need to either go through, pay some karmic dues, go through these tests, experience things yourself so you learn from them, or take some action steps to actually make the changes. Because a lot of times people are unwilling to make these changes. You know, I see this all the time. People emailing me saying, well, how can I change the situation? How are things going to get better? And the number one thing is change. Changing where you live, changing who you talk to, changing jobs. It all revolves around change. And change is the hardest thing to conquer because we're so resistant in our society to change. You know, that those words, same old, right? People say that. Nothing is ever the same. Everything changes every minute of every single freaking day. So you need to become more like adaptive to, if the message is, and October is always about a time of change. It always is. And I'm not sure particularly why, but I think part of it has to do with the end of the year, the veil getting thinner, messages becoming clearer, us kind of getting rid of the old so that we can embrace the new year, things like that. I mean, it's part of it. It's just a crucial time for change. But a lot of people are so resistant to it, and so that therefore they hold themselves back. They cling on to things, myself included. I've clung on to things which need to be let go in order for me to have the future that I want. In order for me to have the abundance that I want, I need to just let things go, you know. The other thing right now, too, guys, you guys have been great. I wanted to mention, because someone asked me about my cards. You know, I don't do the traditional cards. You know, my cards are what I interpret them to be. They're not by any book. Originally, I read the book. Originally, I know the book. I know what the book says, but I apply things differently. So just wanted to point that out. So if I show this card, I'm not thinking 10 of Wands here. I'm thinking a girl who's got too much on her plate. Just visually from the image. That's what I think of. And then the other thing too I wanted to tell you guys is that I'm having an overflow of people contacting me, which is amazing. I love, scheduling clients. I love working with doing private readings. But if you've been thinking about doing a reading for a while and you email me and I email back you some times, please let me know as soon as possible if those times are going to work, because or what other times would work for you, because what's happening is this, like, I give people some times and then they don't tell me until the end of the day, and then somebody else has already said yes to those available times. So I'm not trying to be rude to anybody. I love you guys a lot, so much actually, and I don't want to be rude to anybody. So just let me know as soon as possible. Watch your email, because chances are if it's during like 9 to 5 hours East Coast time, I'm going to get back to you right away. I check my email like constantly during the day. After 5, it's a little bit iffy because I have clients and I also I have other things that I have to do after work, so I might not be checking my email at those times. But during like 9 to 5 hours, I pretty much always am. So yeah, if you do want a private reading for me, I do have times next week available. Please, email me elizabetholson31@gmail.com. I'm still working on my website. Hasn't happened yet. I've had too many projects myself, things going on, that I'm working on decluttering from my life. But anyways, one thing at a time. That's the message for October 21st. Anyways, one thing at a time. And I send you guys lots of love, big hugs, big kisses. And I'll talk to you guys again soon. Thank you. Take care. Bye.